There we go, okay. So within our pathway to positive progress, so first of all, how is everybody doing today on a Friday? Woo! We're ready to rock and roll today. This is going to be an awesome day. I am super excited. So, on our pathway, one of the things that we started talking about is how we can go out and get more input from our employees. And so with the combination effort of HR and business, OSL, all of our departments, they really put together a really nice employee suggestion awards program, and that has gone out now. And in my Monday message, we've already have about 14 very viable suggestions. I mean, these are things that are going to talk about efficiencies, how we can do things better. And so I am super proud of the work of our team in order to put this employee suggestion awards program. And I can use your help to continue to get that message out, that if somebody walks into your office and says, hey, I've got a great idea. Well, guess what? We have a place for that. You get that? Instead of we have an app for that, we have a place for that. Oh boy. All right. So, and the next slide. All right. So something that is very near and dear to me is when we talk about ethics and integrity and honesty. And we've had some very difficult conversations within our leadership team that when we talk about ethics and integrity, that it starts at the very, very top. And so I've commissioned a team of leadership team members within our school district to develop a curriculum for ethics training. And that ethics training is, guess where it's going to start? It's going to start at the top. It's going to start with our leadership team. And so within the Office of General Counsel, within the Office of Business and Finance, our internal audit department, they're putting together a curriculum around ethics. If you're given an opportunity, what do you do with that opportunity? And it's going to speak to all levels of the organization. But I feel very strongly about this. You all know me, and I think that we need to start at the top when we talk about ethics and integrity. And so we're going to start talking about this within the leadership team, develop the curriculum, and we'll be taking the training. At the March 10th Board of Trustee meeting, they're going to take a look at a code of conduct. And the code of conduct is actually coming from the National School Boards Association. It's coming into the Nevada School Boards Association, and so our trustees are even going to be taking a look at their own code of conduct. And we'll talk a little bit about our ethics training at the March 10th board meeting as well. So we have a district budget that is being put together right now in fiscal year 21, and it's kind of a different type of year this year because, as you all know, I was down in Carson City yesterday and we made some public comment, and I want to thank Janine Kelly and Sherry DiMartino, Jen Van Truss, Lindsay Anderson, Mark Mathers, who sits on the commission. We all went down there and we provided public comment around, first of all, you need to start with adequate funding, and that means at the base. But when we're talking about weights, what do those weights mean? And so today, down in Carson City and in Las Vegas, the commission is continuing to meet. And today they're going to be having important conversations around, so what is a weight of a gifted and talented student? What is a weight of a special education student? What is a weight and a definition of a student at risk? And these are all really important conversations that our commission is going to be taking on, because they have a very heavy lift that they need to be bringing out what this funding formula is going to look like by June. But in our own budget, that budget has to be built parallel. So while we have the Nevada plan still in place, we have to be able to build a budget around what that new funding model is going to be look like. We sent out a budget survey, and that budget survey is going to be shared at the board meeting next week at a budget work session on February 25th. We had over 33,000 would be awesome. We had 3,300 survey responses for our budget survey, and that also closed on February 14th. But we also have two other work sessions, so February 25th, but then also March 31st is going to be another work session with the Board of Trustees around building the FY21 budget. And importantly, we're experimenting with a different type of forum. It's a virtual forum. And we've been able to use this, so we had a virtual forum around the anaphylaxis food wellness policy. We've had a virtual forum around different types of issues within our school district, so we're going to have a virtual forum for the budget. And what that allows us to be able to do is to reach out to communities that would otherwise not be able to get to a board meeting. And we've had a very good turnout for these virtual forums, so I'm super, super happy about that. So allocations. So last week you all received preliminary allocations. And I want to highlight, put in bold, 55 font, yellow highlighted, that these are preliminary allocations. But it is important for us to have this conversation because there are some mitigating factors right now within our school district in the Truckee Meadows region which aren't typical when we're talking about allocations. And we also put a letter out into the weekly that all of you received. And I would strongly encourage you all to share that with your staff. There is nothing secret about allocations. It is not a deep, dark little secret here how we create allocations. We are working to be as transparent as possible around this because it is vitally important that your teachers and your staff understand how allocations are developed. And if you have any questions at all, please, please reach out to your area superintendents because they are there to help you through this. You do not have to do this alone, but we need your voice in getting this message out. So some of the variables, when we talk about 6th grade movement into our middle schools, that happened this year, but we're having a huge shift of it next year as well. So K-5, 6, 7, 8, there's going to be some shifts in that. Rezoning. Last night we just had another zoning committee meeting out at Silver Lake. We made some important recommendations with our zoning advisory committee. And I want to give a shout out to Adam Searcy and Paul LaMarca because they've done an outstanding job with that committee. And that committee truly dives into the data when we're talking about looking at student enrollment numbers. But rezoning is happening within our district. When we're talking about opening two new schools, yesterday we were out at Huntsberger to sign some wallboard for Marcy Hers' opening, right? Then we also have Bohatch opening. These are all things that don't typically happen every single year in our school district. And finally, or not finally, but we've also had flat enrollment. Flat enrollment. Now I'm going to tell you something that I had a really important conversation with our leadership team the other day. Sometimes we are our own worst enemy when we're talking about enrollment with our school district. And you see who I'm pointing to, right? We have got to do a better job on telling the good things that happen every single day in our school district. And if our media is there as partners, they will help us. But it's not up to them. It is up to us collectively. By gosh, you guys do awesome things in your schools every day. And that was a huge, specific push in our State of Education address. But I want you to think about when you're at the grocery store, when you're trying on shoes. I don't know why I said that, just because. But when you're out there in the public, talk about the good things that happen in your schools. Talk about the amazing things that happen at Maxwell. Talk about what happens at Reno High School and we the people. Talk about what's happening at O'Brien. You guys do miracles every single day. And we can't afford to let it be white noise anymore. We know that Washoe County School District has all the opportunity and all the options for hopefully more than 64,000 students. But that is part of our budgeting process. So when we're talking about unknown fiscal impacts, part of the issue is that we have, and I love charter schools, but we have a new state-sponsored charter school opening up in Spanish Springs. And the dirt is moving, and they will be here in August of 2020. And projected enrollment is 675 students. Now, when that charter school opens, they have to match the demographics of Washoe County School District. That's a condition upon them opening. So I want you to think about the demographics of Washoe County School District. 47% free and reduced lunch. A majority minority school district. They are going to be recruiting. They are going to be recruiting. And for every student that goes into a charter school, that lessens our enrollment. That lessens our distributive school account, our DSA. So we have to, as a collective body, as a collective family, as a collective community, get the word out that we, Washoe County School District, is where it's at. But all of these factors come into the mix when we're talking about allocations. Now, we also know that Nevada Connections Academy is closing. And over the state of Nevada, they have approximately 3,000 students, and they're an online charter school. Within the Truckee Meadows region, there are about 600 students that are zoned. And I want to give a shout out to Stacy Cooper and Katie Hadley, who are working very, very hard to tell these students and these families, Washoe County School District is where it's at. And guess what? We have an online school. And oh, by the way, we have multiple other sources of schools and educational opportunities for your student. So we're probably going to be a little bit more assertive than we have been in the past. And for the first time in our history, we actually have a very small, uno poquito, little budget going out there to make sure that we're getting the word out. And whether that's at the Summit Movie Theater, when we're going to be posting ads, whether that is, guess what, postcards. If charters are going to do it, then we're going to do it. We're going to get postcards out there, and we're going to talk about the story of the Washoe County School District and what's happening. So I want to thank you all for getting that word out. And, you know, if you're in the grocery store line, turn around. You don't have to talk to yourself. Sometimes, you know, you can pretend like you have like the little Bluetooth thing in there. But, you know, you guys do just phenomenal jobs. And you ought to be walking out there with your chest like this. So I just wanted to tell you that. All right, moving on. Exciting events. Career Technical Education Month. I'm looking right over here. Yep, she sees me. Yep. You guys are doing phenomenal things, CTE, in all of our schools. What coding, technology. At the State of Education address, we had Dilworth. Round of applause, let's go. We had Dilworth, woo, woo, woo. Sparks High School. Nick Polikitis. National Schools Counselor Week. Our counselors, I talk about miracle workers. Our counselors have angel wings. They do a yeoman's job every single day, and we've had some crisis in our district this year. And our counselors surround that school community with love and support in a variety of ways. And they surround you, they surround your teachers, they surround your children, and then they go home. And so think about surrounding your counselors with a hug. Where's Catherine? There she is. Let's give a round of applause to this lady over here. State of Education address, I'm sure you guys are tired of that, so I'm going to skip that. Public Schools Week. Next week is Public Schools Week. What better time to get the word out about public education? And did you know that 9 out of 10 students in the United States of America attend public schools? So we are going to do a resolution at our school board meeting for for Public Schools Week. We're going to have it in the Monday message, but feel free to shout from the rooftops, public education is where it's at. All right. Now, here's the fun part. We did this the other night at the State of Ed. How many of you have already downloaded, and you guys are going to be super impressed with this. Look at this. I got to open it up now. Here it is. Look at this. This is our app. This is where it's at. This is at. So all you have to do is go into your app store, download Washoe County School District, and the app comes right up on your phone. It's a miracle. It truly is. But it's awesome. Oh, are we going to play? I think there's a video. All right, let's play the video. And you guys can take out your personal devices and load the app right now.
WCSD has a new mobile application for families. Just search for the Washoe County School District in the Apple App Store or the Google Play Store. Now you can stay up to date with the latest information from the schools your students attend and from the Washoe County School District. With just a few taps, you can see what's new at your school or schools. Quickly access Infinite Campus online to stay on top of assignments and grades. Easily find school calendars and access staff directories. Pay for hot lunch with My School Bucks. Discover bus schedules and stops. Access Nevada's Safe Voice system, where students can anonymously report tips concerning their own safety or that of others. Learn about school district leadership and how to get involved in the decisions that the district makes. One more way WCSD is working to help families stay on top of the most important school information.
All right, how many of you have the app on your phones? Woo, look at that. All right. So when you're in the grocery store, you could take that out and show the person next in line. All right. Now, something that's kind of cool here is our traffic and pedestrian safety app. And if you go into your app store and you just put in PedSafe, what you see up here, it's a flashing signal. And you can see this signal from over 100 feet. And it actually, you cannot talk, which is super cool. You cannot talk or text on the phone when the app is going. So we've been trying to get the word out through our Student Advisory Council, but go ahead and load that on your phone when you have a chance, and you'll see, and it's super cool. And I would encourage you also to show it to your own kiddos as well. We are redoubling our efforts on getting the message out about pedestrian safety. At the State of Education address, we had a lovely student from TMCC High School, Fernanda, that talked about what she's doing in her own Sun Valley community in order to get the word out. We're working with the City of Reno, City of Sparks, Washoe County. Our school police are putting together a different variety of avenues and getting the message out that this is a community issue. We're not going to be able to solve this issue without our community sponsors. NV Energy, Renown, they want to come to the table. They have funding. They want to help us. So please continue to get ideas from your students, because really when we talk about pedestrian safety, our kids have some of the best ideas in the world. As you know, our Office of School Leadership is going through a reorganization around special education. We did a presentation to the Board of Trustees, and I want to give a huge shout out to Rory Fitzpatrick at West Ed, along with our area superintendents, for putting that presentation together. When we talk about what the targeted outcomes are for the reorganization, we're talking about equitable access for every single student. Every single student. When we talk about collective responsibility, it's all of our responsibility for special education. It's not just the principal's responsibility. It is not just the teacher's responsibility. It is all of our responsibility. And so within the reorganization, we flattened, and we're putting more direct supports right into the schools so that you all have what you need in order to answer the important questions. I do not want our principals or our teachers to have to go through 4 rungs of organization to get the answer they need for our families and students, and I believe very strongly about that. So, upcoming board presentations. We have got a full docket of board presentations. Just within February, we talked about supports for high schools coming up next week. We're going to have, I think, Spanish Springs. Where's Tammy? There she is. There she is. So she and her dynamic team, along with Dr. Parks and Office of School Leadership, we're going to talk about what you all do in your schools every single day to get students across that stage. We're going to have an equity and diversity. Where's Tiffany? Here she is. Awesome. And then we're going to have Trish. Where's Trish? Trish. She's getting set up. All right. They're going to be doing a presentation around the equity and diversity efforts as well as social emotional learning. Then we move into March. I already talked about our budget workshops. We're going to be doing a presentation around telehealth, a presentation on early childhood, the Bell schedule. Let's give a round of applause to our Special Projects Administrator, Mr. Rick Harris, who's putting that presentation together. And a presentation around our parent university. In April, we're going to go right over to Spanish Springs High School and have our annual Indian Education Program. We're going to have an update on the pathway to positive progress as well as our strategic plan. We're going to tie those two together. It's a busy time of year for you all. I see Michonne shaking her head. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. You all have teacher evaluations. You have support staff personnel evaluations. You have testing going on. You have spring break. Spring break's coming up. Woo! Yes, spring break is going on. And then the magic happens. The magic happens in June. And I am super excited this year, not only as your interim superintendent, but also as a proud mama of a student that is, yes, she is. She is going to graduate. Yes, she is. All right, what do we got? Oh, okay, and I want to announce Anne-Marie Dixon is now our Special Education Programming Director. Let's give a round of applause. Where's Anne-Marie? There she is. And Miss Allison Kendrick, Director of Professional Growth Systems. We are putting together a phenomenal team, and we're putting together that phenomenal team to help and support you, because that's what we need to do. That's why we exist. Let's see, okay. All right, you guys are going to have a phenomenal day. And when I am finished here, I just want to know, I gave my commitment that I would be at every LTL. Today down in Carson City, I'm going to be working with our Board of Trustees on board governance, and that's a 2-day work session. So I'll be there today, and then I'll be there tomorrow. So it's not that I do not love and support you all, but I'm going to be driving down to Carson, just so you know where I am, but you all already know that because I released my calendar. Don't know why I'm telling you this. Anyways, I want you all to have a fabulous day, get some more bacon and berries. I love you, and I will see you all around starting next week. Have a fabulous weekend. Stop, what? Oh, stop the bleed. Gosh, darn it. Okay. Okay, so Roy Anderson is standing over there. Please don't bleed on the way over there, but he has your Stop the Bleed kits for you. All right? That's very important. Sorry, I did not mean to not say that. And we also have Leslie Alfrey over there. Wave your hand, Leslie. There she is. All right. Stop the Bleed kits. Have a fabulous day.